Alright, guys. This is it. This is it. This is the last and final episode for romcom season. For this episode, we're going to review Overboard. This movie came out in 1987, starring Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. This movie is a classic. Anywho, like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on my Instagram. The movie starts out with like an opening scene of the yacht where Joanna Staten, played by Goldie Hawn, she's the wife of a rich millionaire. Her last name was Staten, and Dean Prophet, played by Kurt Russell. Okay, those two are the important characters in the movie. He's just a regular guy who was a single father of four kids, well, four boys, and he was called over there to fix or remodel her closet. Okay, Joanna was like very condescending, rude, obnoxious, arrogant. She was basically the mean rich chick type. Anywho, Dean finished remodeling her closet. She was upset that it wasn't really done right, even though she didn't really specify the whole like how she wanted it done. She just wanted it done, and that was that. She didn't want it like that. They were having a little argument. They were like bickering back and forth, and Joanna pushed Dean off the boat, or off the yacht thing. Okay, Joanna and her mom was like having a phone conversation. They were talking about like how what was it, her husband. What was I forgot his name. I forgot his name. Point is, the dude forgot what was it was mentioned the fact that he wanted a baby, and she was like against it, and that was the whole thing. Okay, Dean got home from like that whole thrown overboard fiasco. He just got home, and this is where we introduced the boys. The boys' names are Joey, Charlie, Greg, and Travis. Travis the oldest. Okay, the principals of the new school that they just moved into their new school, and they were what was it? She was there to welcome them, and let's say she was having a rough time with the boys, and she was kind of mad at Dean, and she's like, yeah, but like I said, she was mad about like how the boys are like so undisciplined, and she asked, "Where's her mom? Where's the mom?" Well, the mom kind of died. Okay, we're on the yacht where Joanna and Grant, that would be her husband, were on like about to go to bed. She noticed that her ring was missing, so she got up and searched everywhere for the ring. And while she was outside, she was about to trip and she fell overboard. She was screaming and screaming for like help, help, help. No one didn't notice. No one didn't notice. Anywho, what was it? A news report saying that she washed up on some fisherman's boat, and we know she has amnesia and she can't remember anything. When the next morning the husband knew like where she was. She was at some mental hospital, and when he noticed that she lost her memory, he completely left her. I can't blame him. I can't blame him. Okay, Dean was at a bowling alley where he was fixing some sort of machine, and kind of as a reward, the lady that owned the place kind of like was offering like fixing some free food or something. I don't know. Anywho, he was walking to the kitchen, and that's when he saw Joanna on the news, and his friend Billy was watching the news with her, and he kind of told Billy about the whole thing, about like how Joanna was a complete B word, and she threw him overboard. But he had a plan, a very good plan. The plan was to like take her out of the hospital, convince her that he was her what was it? Yeah, that she was his wife, to get back at her for treating him poorly and everything else. And only that, to get back at her from not paying him for the first time he did the job, because she didn't pay him. So it was payback. Okay, we were at a hospital where Dean like drove over there to get her out of there. The police, the nurses, they had enough of her. She was a complete she was a complete wreck. She is just terrible. And they were like glad that he came to get her. Okay, Dean was in the room where Joanna was sitting at, chilling for a couple minutes, like trying to puzzle everything together. Like Joanna was a little suspicious. She was like very like, wait a minute, hold on, I don't know this dude. He's my husband. Dean like kissed her, tried to like tell her about her past, and he kind of made up this fact that her name is Annie, and they've been married for I think like 10 plus years. I forgot. Anywho, the cops kind of pulled Dean aside to like, you know what? She's right. We need some proof here. Like there was no like, yeah. So Dean kind of told the police officers, and Joanna overheard that she had some sort of heart strawberry birthmark on her tushy, and she went to check that out, and ding ding ding, we had a winner. Dean took her back home. The boys are aware that about the whole like tricking her thing, trying to like make her work this whole thing off. She was freaking out the fact that she had 4 kids and the fact that they were poor and everything else. She was like passed out. She would like, oh heck no. After that, like Dean tried to like sneak in some, how could I put this, bedroom fun with Joanna, but it was like nah, not tonight. So Dean kind of kicked her out of the bedroom and kind of put her on the couch. There was like a little thunderstorm, and the roof was leaking, and it kind of spilled on her. She had to like have like a bunch of pots on her while she was asleep. Okay, the next morning, it was time for the kids to go to school, and Dean had to go to work. She kind of was like, I don't care if the kids go to school. And Dean kind of brought up the fact, well, if the kids don't go to school, you have to deal with them. And she got up and got the cooking, the cleaning. Well, she didn't know how to cook and clean because keep in mind, she was a spoiled rich chick that like had people do everything for her, so she don't really have to do nothing. She was trying to get the kids' school stuff, everything ready for them to go. And Dean kind of had her do some chores around the house, and she was having a hard time trying to do those chores. It was freaking funny. You know that there was a dope song. There was a dope song. Man, the '80s was good. '80s music was good. Okay, after all that cooking, cleaning, and trying to like fix everything else up, she was in a catatonic state after all that hard work and doing all the house chores. In case you don't know what that means, basically it's like when it's a kind of a state of mind. When you undergo a trauma so traumatic, it kind of causes you to like just freeze, like stand still. Now that we got that out of the way, the boys were like very like, wait, what's wrong with her? Joe was throwing grapes at her. It was kind of harsh. Dean came in. He wondered, asked the boys what was wrong, and they were like, she was like, but. Dean carried her to like outside and dumped her in a water barrel. And she was like, I don't want to do this. This is the nightmare. This is hell. It was kind of funny and kind of dark at the same time though. After that, Joanna was looking throughout the house trying to find pictures, photos, anything that kind of proves or kind of shows, because keep in mind she was still searching for her memories. So Dean kind of like made some stuff up here and there. And after she went to sleep, she went into Billy's place. He kind of was having like a girl there, and he told Billy, crap. Dean kind of had like Billy to fake some photos because the dude could fake some photos. Dean kind of mentioned how he faked some IDs in high school to get some beers. Anywho, the next day after that, Dean showed her the fake pictures and tried to convince her that to show her that like this is really happening. This is all true. That you're married to me. That's our life, that's our kids, that's how we normally are. Okay, on the Staten yacht, Grant, Joanna's husband, was partying all day with a bunch of girls. He kind of got a phone call from from Joanna's mom, and she was wondering where she is. And she told her that she was out shopping and you missed her. After that was over, Dean and Billy was staring at Joanna a little bit while she was rubbing Dean's feet, and Dean kind of explained that Billy was her high school boyfriend. Okay, after Joanna got Billy some beers, the boys kind of pulled a prank on her. They kind of like glued her hands to the plates while she was about to get some. Well, she was trying to get some desserts. The boys kind of glue her hands to the plates, and she went off on Dean. How he's like throughout the whole time, she couldn't like find nothing that sparks any memory, and she's freaking out. And she was told, and no, she just played it cool for a couple minutes. She got like some chocolate cream pie out of the fridge, and after she got the chocolate cream pie, ooh, she got the hose and sprayed all of them. The boys chased after her. They kind of tackled her to the ground. They were having fun. The next day, the kids were at school. The teachers were like very upset with the boys because of they were messing with some Heimlich test or something. I don't know. Anywho, the teacher got mad. They called called Joanna to the school to see about the boys, and the boys were playing in Poison Oak, and the teacher didn't notice the whole time. She went off on the teacher, and it was a heartfelt moment where she just say, "These kids may be rotten, but they're mine." She was like being a good mom and everything. Okay, after that whole thing, the boys were up in their room. Joanna was trying to like put like something to help with the poison oak that was on them, like earlier. Joey was like refusing to read, and she asked the boys what was going on. They told him that the teachers were making fun of him because he don't know how to read. Anywho, Dean and Joanna kind of like had like a little argument about how Dean's not doing as much as a father, how he's not like as doing his dad stuff. You know what I mean? After he kind of like stormed out, and when he came back and he looked in the fridge, he saw it was completely organized, and he realized, I should really say I'm sorry and thank you for like teaching the kids. He went and go talk to her on the couch, and she was like, "No, I don't want to see you," because she kind of got poison oak on her face. Dean kind of carried her to the bedroom to like just go to sleep, and he decided to sleep on the couch for the rest of the night. After that, Dean and everyone else were having a cookout, and Billy and Dean kind of like were coming up with an idea for like some miniature golf course, and Joanna came up with an idea for like the golf course, like a seven wonders of the world. Okay, Joanna was finishing up her drawings for like the rest of the golf course. One of the kids asked like where's their dad. Joanna told them that they went bowling. One of the twins mentioned the fact that the bowling ball is right there. Joanna went into the car, took the bowling ball with her to try to find Dean. She went to the bowling alley. He wasn't there. She found Dean at a fertilizer plant. It turns out Dean was taking up like an extra shift at a fertilizer plant to make ends meet. Joanna was helping Dean get ready for the interview with some investors to like so the investors can like give them the money to build a golf course. Dean managed to nail the whole thing, and they got the money. They managed to get the golf course built, and Billy and Dean was like talking for a minute. Dean was kind of like talking, you know what, maybe it's about time I start telling her the truth. Like in the beginning, it was kind of fun, but now he's starting to feel a little guilty. Anywho, at the house, Joanna was with the kids watching them. Joey was she was helping Joey learn how to read a little bit. They were reading some sort of comic book, and Joey was like, "Are you gonna leave?" And she said no because she's their mom. But she Joey said that sometimes moms leave, and there was a cute little tender moment. Dean came into the house and told the boys to like go in your room for a minute. I need to talk with your mom. And Dean was trying to like spill it out, try to tell her the truth that this whole thing was a sham. And Joanna kind of said, "I already know." She kind of did know about the fertilizer plant, didn't know about the whole thing. He was about to tell her the truth, but he was like, "Oh, baby, I forgot. It's your birthday." They kind of went out, had like a couple drinks, party, had a good time. After that, they had like a sweet, passionate kiss, and there was, some bedroom fun, if you know what I mean. Okay, time to wrap this up. It was almost time for the boys and everyone to get like ready for the grand opening of the golf course. Joanna went inside the truck and she kind of saw underwear in like the glove compartment. She tried like to ask Dean like, "Who are these? Are you cheating on me?" And Dean was like, "You know what? She was like glad that he found him because he was trying to find multiple ways to tell her the truth. They were having an argument for a minute. She kind of like he kind of dragged her to the boys and tried to get the boys to tell her the truth, and the boys were like lying because the kids were starting to like her, and he was like, "Oh, I'm mad right now." Okay, Joanne was talking to Billy, and Billy kind of like make up this fake little cover story. He kind of told her that the underwear was his, and Dean was covering for him, and everything went crazy. Okay, they were at the golf course scene. Everything was going good. Everyone was having a good time. There was like a little announcement, and Dean found like the wedding ring and put it on her. They went home, and Grant was waiting for her. And when Joanne saw Grant, her memories came back, and she realized that Dean tricked her into this whole fantasy to be like their mom and his wife, just to get back at her. And the kids were a little devastated that she was leaving. Joanna and Grant made it on the boat, and she went inside. And Grant kind of like told the crew to keep hush hush on like what was going on about the whole everything else. There was a little gathering. There was a shrink, Dr. Corman. There, Grant and Joanne's mom was like asking the doctor, "Is she okay? Is she like, will she be 100% like how she used to be?" Well, the shrink kind of told them that her memory is almost fully restored, and she's trying to rediscover her old life. They were like having like a conversation. They noticed that Joanne was acting different because she kind of was missing her old life. Joanna kind of like went into like their bedroom, and he was like, Grant was talking to some sort of shell thing, and she was like, "Okay, that's a little weird." She kind of went out. She kind of like were hanging out with the crew, and her butler Andrew. Andrew was kind of like, trying to remind her like how she used to act, how she like. It kind of made her feel sorry, and she kind of like said she was sorry for like how he treated him or everyone else around her. And she asked like, was she crazy for everything that happened? The butler told her no, because he kind of like was giving her some inspirational quotes. It kind of worked like this: "We were only born to see only one view of where we were born in." And she had the privilege to see like what life is like on the other side. And what she do with whatever she's seen or what she knows about that information or about that world is entirely up to her. Joanna was like having a hard time going to sleep, and she was trying to like turn the boat around to go back to El Cove. Dean was in the kitchen trying to make the kids something to eat, and he kind of like was trying to grab the boys and tell them to come eat. And the boys were like trying to plan to get like some fishing boat to go out and find her. And Dean told the boys that it's over. They got it was over. Grant woke up and realized that, hey, why are we going this way instead of that way? And he kind of like went over to like the wheel is, and like Joanna was trying to like go back there. Grant was like, oh no, you're not. Eventually, they kind of like had like a little heated argument, and Joanna put two and two together, and she realized that Grant left her at the hospital where she had amnesia, and he didn't went back for her. He was trying to like turn the boat around to like go away from El Cove. Dean was like, you know what? Forget this. I'm gonna find her, bring her back here. He brought the boys. Billy was an ex Coast Guard, so he kind of held his Coast Guard pals, help him get like Joanna. The Grant did everything in his power to like try to like get Joanna to stay and try to like stop her. They both jump off. Both Dean and crap. Both Dean and Joanna kind of like jump out of the sea. They kind of like swim towards each other. They kiss, and Andrew kind of kicked Grant off the boat, and turns out Grant wasn't really rich. All that money, the yacht, the boat, everything was completely hers, and the and they kind of like got together in the end, and they kissed, and the movie was over. Oh yes, the 1980s. Action movies were at its prime. Arnold Schwarzenegger became a cool name now. Well, he was starting to become a cool name because of the Terminator movies. Okay, gotta get to the subject at hand. The movie was pretty good. It is a classic, a must-watch movie, I would say. Kurt Russell, great acting, really good acting. And here's a fun fact in case you don't know. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, they're actually a couple in real life. Well, they're not married. They've been together for 30 years, and I think almost 30, 40 years, I don't know. All I know is that they've been dating that long, and they never been married. I know. What the heck? I'm just saying, man, in today's age, that ain't gonna fly. But, hey, that's an exception. Well, they're the exception, not the rule. The movie was heartwarming. Well, a little heartwarming. Okay, I gotta admit, if if this movie was made today, some scenes wouldn't fly. The bedroom scene where Dean was trying to um get some sugar, that would not fly. It wouldn't. By the way, they made a remake in 2018. It was okay. I did want to review that one, but I didn't have time. I mean, I did want to compare the two, but I'll probably do that another day. Anywho, the remake sucked, and well, it was decent, I would say. I'm just saying, like anyone that's seen this movie like before the remake, people say that this movie is better, and we all know, the classics are always the best. We all know this. I've always wondered why do women like rom-coms so much? Why do the majority of women normally like rom-coms? Well, I mean, when I was a kid, I always wondered that. But like seeing this now as an adult, like I can understand why some women, well, the majority of women like this stuff, because it's kind of like, I don't know, how most boys and most young people love comic books and superheroes, because it's basically giving us hope that, well, okay, talking about the rom com here. it gives us hope that we could find happiness, that we can find love or find it again. Okay, I can't really blame Grant for like leaving Joanna. If you had to deal with a wife like her, you would up and left too. Let's be honest, fellas. If you had to deal with a wife that act and behave like some arrogant, spoiled little kid that don't know how to shut up or know how, oh, just don't know how to shut up, you wouldn't want to put up with that. Let's be honest. Nobody shouldn't want to put up with Joanna. Nobody shouldn't. Regardless, well, okay, if you were getting paid, maybe because well, we're getting paid for it. I don't know. Depends on how much you're getting paid. I'm just saying, if it was me, I probably not. Okay, probably $200 billion or something. That I'll put up with one time, but multiple times, hell no, hell no. But I mean, I know it's not right to do that, but I know what Grant did was cold, wrong, but let's be honest. If you were in the shoes, fellas, would you do the same thing? Okay, everybody probably would have done the same thing. Let's be honest. Okay, I want to talk about this. It's understandable why some dudes are going MGTOW with relationships and marriages these days. What does MGTOW means? It's an acronym that stands for Men Going Their Own Way. The reason why they're doing this, either they probably seen or have gone through one too many terrible relationships and seeing how things are not, how society views men, how well, how they view men, how society is not fair towards men once it comes to marriages, the child custody. We know that 90% of the time, women have primary custody of a child. If, like, I don't know, under a divorce or out of wedlock, normally the mother has the primary care of the child. And they probably seen situations where their best friend or one of their guys or one of their pals been through and they were like, they're well aware of the stats that about marriages. They're well aware of this, ladies. It just because the dating scene today has become a little dangerous for men these days. Let's be honest, it's dangerous for everybody, regardless of your race, regardless of religion or wherever you are in the world. Dating in this day and age, it has become dangerous. And I can understand why some men are doing MGTOW. It's understandable. Let's be honest. Everybody needs a break, and those guys probably needed a break from relationships and commitment to like find themselves, to reflect, and making sure that their mistakes from past relationships, like these dudes probably got cheated on a bunch of times, and they probably want to come up with a new plan to make sure that they don't get taken advantage of or get hurt again. You see where I'm going with this? Okay, guys, I had my fun. Rom-com season is over. No more reviewing romantic comedies. Well, maybe. I don't know. Hey, guys, give me, let's see, how many likes? 10 likes. If I get 10 likes for this video, I'm gonna do another rom-com season next year. Alright, time to rate this movie. Let's see. Let's see. That's 1 point. I would say it's 4 points because it's a classic. 3 points because it had Kurt Russell. So, what I'm gonna give Overboard, I would give Overboard 9 out of 10. The movie was a classic, and that movie should never been remade in the first place. But if you guys want to check out the remake, check it out for yourself. The link's in the description, so it's up to you. Alright guys, it's over. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, check out my Deviantart, and please, please, guys, let me know if I should do this again. Bye bye.